show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com. This show is brought to you by Slice on Broadway, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza, sliceonbroadway.com. And listeners like you, support this show at patreon.com/awesomecast.
Sidekick Media Services. We are your sidekick in business for social media, video production, and more. Find out more at sidekickmediaservices.com.
I'm getting awesome, you're getting awesome, we're getting awesome, yeah, that's what I said now. I'm getting awesome, you're getting awesome, we're getting awesome, yeah, that's what I said.
Hey guys, it's time to get geeky, get awesome. It is the AwesomeCast. I'm Mike Sorg at Sorgatron on the Twitter here in the Sorgatron Media Studios in Pittsburgh, PA. And we're going to talk all gadgety, geeky goodness with you here tonight. We have with us the crew. First of all, from the Big D, Dormont, and Studio C is the Chilla. The gadget guru over at Big Bank International Esquire, who just flew in the door to be on the show with us tonight.
Oh, when we talk about my awesome thing of the week, you'll come to understand what it took to be here today.
Oh yeah, did you like fly on a drone? Is that what happened?
No, I had car troubles coming out of Erie
Oh wow! You just got in from Erie?
last night,
Oh jeez.
but it almost was, hey, we're staying.
Oh man. Also with us is the Dudders as well. How you doing, Katie?
Good. How's it going?
You've had no mishaps this week, have you?
Not yet. It's early in the week.
Yes. I think you guys had more travel. For once, you guys had more traveling than me for the weekend, because I mostly kind of stuck around. So
That's true. Yeah.
you guys were all over the state this weekend. But anyways, this is the AwesomeCast. You can check out everything at awesomecast.com. Email us at awesomecast@sorgatronmedia.com. Tweet us at AwesomeCast on the Twitter. And, of course, follow AwesomeCast on the Facebook and page. And, of course, a great AwesomeCast Facebook group. We get a few stories and discussions, and we share those stories that we're interested throughout the week as well. So you can get a heads up on that and get some input that really does help inform what we do here on the show. You can join us here live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. We are live on the Facebook Live. We are on the YouTube page. We are also on our Twitter and Periscope page. I see you guys out there. And, of course, over on the Twitch page for Sorgatron Media. If you're watching live right now on any of those formats, please do us a solid. If you like what's going on, give us a heart, give us a like, give us a share, just to help expand the AwesomeCast and get it out in front of some new eyeballs here as much as we can. We do very much appreciate it if you do that. Hit the share, hit the tweet, hit whatever that case may be. Also, thank you to our Patreon supporters at patreon.com/awesomecast. Of course, those supporters include our friends at the Coffee Club level, Matt Weller, John DeGore, and John Carmen. And at the Fan of Show level, our friends Michael Fedor, pghmuseums.org, Professor Buzzkill, the great podcast at professorbuzzkill.com, and Dave Podner of the Tiny Shutter podcast. So happy to have so many of our friends, fans, and other content creators supporting the show. And you guys can too at patreon.com/awesomecast. Well, last week, of course, we talked about some home automation from the 90s, including I had a kind of a re-unboxing of some stuff I've been holding on to since 1996. This week, we're probably recording after the show, so I don't know what that's going to be yet. Surprise for all. So look out for the tweets and everything and that in your inbox as well. So I hope you guys have been enjoying that. So let's get into our awesome things of the week. And listen, you're already kind of teased at the beginning. Chilla, tell me how you survived your car excursion to Erie.
So coming home from Erie, lovely Erie, Pennsylvania, we visited the beach over the weekend. Had a great time. Got on 79 South and about 20 miles into our ride home. We should have arrived home at 6:15. And we got home at 11 o'clock last night because the car broke down 25 miles south of Erie. It's interesting in today's day and age, I never pay attention to things like, hey, what's the next exit? Hey, what mile marker am I at? Because I have things like smartphones and smart cars and all kinds of cool technology that lets me know, hey, in 2 miles I need to get off, or be in the left-hand lane, etc. So pulling off the road with an engine light flashing and a screeching engine, I was like, I don't know where I'm at. I don't know who to call. I'm like, oh, that's right. There's this cool little blue link button up on the mirror. Tap the button. Within probably about 10 seconds, I'm on with an operator. They actually triangulated where my car was with GPS so they could dispatch tow trucks. They actually, said you're probably going to want to call emergency services to make sure that, from a police perspective, there's someone behind you. You may need them to give you a ride, because the other thing they do is they will give you free transport. With COVID-19 and social distancing, they really don't want you in the tow truck. So you use emergency services to get to a location, because guess what you need? You need an address which you can be picked up at, and they prepay for your Lyft drive, which I thought was super cool. So all within the tap of a button. And I don't have, I put a link to the Hyundai Blue Link.
Mm-hmm.
Keep in mind, my car's 7 years old, so I don't get, it's not a hybrid, so I don't get the charging dashboard. I don't get the curfew and speed alert, but I do get the panic notification, the survey link, stolen vehicle recovery, and most important from this trip, automatic emergency assistance. I didn't need it from a point of view like I wasn't in an accident, my airbags didn't deploy, but using that to just give me roadside assistance immediately was super helpful. I also thought I locked my keys in the car while I was on the trip, so I sent a remote door unlock command to find out that no, they were just in a different pants pocket. But the feature, I was actually thinking about terminating some of the Blue Link services, because they do come at a cost. You get them, I think, free for 3 years. Being on year 7, I was like, some of these features I've never ever used. I'll probably save myself $50 and get rid of it. Well, not anymore. I'll be keeping the Blue Link service throughout the life probably of the vehicle at this point, and continuing to use it. The only interesting part for those of you who aren't familiar with Erie, there aren't many car rental places that stay open past 5 p.m.
Oh yeah, because there's no major airports, so there's like kind of no reason, right?
Well, no. So this is what I come to find out. I looked for like all the like downtown Erie rentals.
Mm-hmm.
There is the Erie International Airport. I didn't realize there was an Erie International Airport.
It's still probably only like 4 gates, right?
Oh yeah, it's real small.
Oh, I've been to those, and it's probably only international because it's so close to Canada.
Maybe, but fortunately, their budget rental car stayed open until 9 p.m. And we got there at probably a little after 7. We're able to secure a car, go back to our broken down car at the shop, pick up some stuff out of it, and then started our trek home after a short stop at McDonald's for dinner, because we hadn't eaten pretty much all afternoon and into the evening, and it was now like 8:30, 9 o'clock. So all in all, I would say it was not the experience I was looking for, but the Blue Link service definitely made it the smoothest experience I've ever had with a broken down vehicle.
So no, I similarly, and have you had other insurances with roadside or anything like this, like in recent years? Was this your first time in a long while dealing with something like this?
So I've had other roadside assistance services, like through Volkswagen, and also through even even through Hyundai with our other car. I needed to get a tire changed, and unfortunately, when they used the air wrench on the lug nuts, they made it so tight that it was pretty much impossible for anyone without a four-way tire iron. Like I had the little kit from out of the trunk on there, and I was jumping up and down on it, and to no avail. Me and the guy actually grabbed opposite sides of the tire iron.
Oh wow!
He was lifting up, and I was pushing down to get it to break the lug nuts. So
I've had similar experiences with of course, combination of the automatic, which now went away along with COVID as a company. So by the way, if anybody has a replacement for automatic for because I could use some diagnostics on my on my car right now actually, but between that, because that always had the emergency, thank goodness it was never needed to be used, the actual we will send an ambulance to your place wherever the wreck has been. But we've had through Geico, I've used the roadside assistance with our older car when it was having problems. I have not used the the Allstate. That's the thing. Alltel. God, it's that old phone you were showing me last week. So it's got me on that mindset. But kind of similarly, like they will, depending on what we always throw roadside insurance assistance on our insurance. And very similarly, like it's like, okay, where are you? It gives you at least the number to call. I think one time I did do it like through like messaging on the app, perhaps. So Geico was really robust with something like that. I'd be interested to see what it looks like today, because I mean, last time I used it was probably like 2 or 3 years ago. So
it's interesting just based on the geolocation piece, because being the first time to Erie, like I had no clue like what the next exit was. The funny part was I ended up to when I contacted emergency services, and they ended up sending a state trooper. I'm like, well, if you have the Waze app, I'm the car that's been tagged on the side of the road after this cross street.
Yeah. It's like, listen, I've probably been tagged by now, so yeah, it'll be interesting.
Well, no, I was. We actually looked it up. Someone else had tagged us.
Oh no, it's us. And then you could drop a message on it like, "Hi guys, it's me. Sorry."
Please don't hit me.
That's awesome. So no, it's cool to see that, and I haven't had enough car to be able to sign up for a service like this ingrained into it, but I have a feeling it's going to happen sooner than later in my situation. Who knows? Well, from that, let's go to the car troubles, the video games. Katie, you found something kind of fun with this, and this will err on the side of politics a little bit, so please bear with us here. But you found something cool going on out there.
Yeah, so the Biden-Harris campaign is getting creative, and they know a lot of people are playing Animal Crossing now. So they've put out official signs, like yard signs that you would normally, you drive around and see the ones that you see in folks' yards, you can now have in your Animal Crossing, which is pretty cool, I thought. So there's the usual QR code. You scan that, you put it in your system, and you can pretty much put these things anywhere. You can put it up as a sign, you could put it on the ground, however you want to decorate with them.
So this is separate. This is separate from finding it on another island to be able to use it. Like you just QR code it in.
Yeah. So instead, you can either draw, like there's the option to, it's like a bit by bit drawing this out, or you could just go in there and you essentially either scan the QR code, or I'm surprised I didn't give you any of the other numbers, but yeah, if you scan the QR code, there's the Nintendo app on your phone, and you go bloop, and then that'll be in your saved designs that you can put pretty much anywhere you'd like. You can put it on your walls, I'm assuming. You can go all out.
You go where the people are, right?
Oh yeah.
So.
And it looks like they're also going to be doing some digital swag, like voter education tools and organizational efforts on some other places beyond Animal Crossing too, which is pretty neat.
That's awesome. That's fun.
I'm interested to know what the age demographic is.
How many? Listen. How many people talking about Animal Crossing on this show? Have you seen Twitter? Like they're all like this. They're all voting age. Like there's a lot of voting age, because like the hashtag doesn't happen from a bunch of 12-year-olds. You know what I mean on Twitter. So although partially related. There was a Pokemon something. Pokemon Monsters EX, I think, came out, and the hashtag, the official hashtag that has a little icon of the guy by it, by Nintendo, it looks like Pokemon Monster Sex, and Twitter has had a field day with this. So I sent that to Chachi because I was like, this is. It was like the first positive thing I found when I woke up today, and I'm just like, this is my day. Yeah. So sorry. But
well,
yeah, go ahead.
Animal Crossing has over 22 million. They've sold 22.4 million units of Animal Crossing.
Absolutely, and even if it is a younger age, that still could influence or probably reflects their parents as well. So, oh boy. Well, so you brought this up, and I immediately drove a comparison because this keeps popping up. It's like, actually, I think it's been recommended to me several times too. This is not my awesome thing, but just kind of an additional thing on the side of this. But there's a game on Steam for free that somebody made. I don't think this is by the official campaign, but it's called Super Bernie World, and it is a Super Mario style Bernie Sanders side scroller, like completely copying old school Super Mario Brothers. Yeah, that is a freebie you can play straight up on Steam. They have it available over there. I don't know if it's on other platforms, but they do have it available on Windows, Mac, and Steam over there as well. So if you're not in the Animal Crossing, you can, I don't know, play a statement. There's like 12 levels in this thing too, and I think, wait a minute, I think the bad guys, because I just saw a bunch of digital pictures, I think the bad guys are like Republican senators, if I'm not mistaken. There you go. There's an animated Bernie Sanders. So I don't know. I just saw a flash across the screen, so I've been tempted. I need to just play this thing just to see how it is. But anyways, hi. So my awesome thing of the week is I started picking up on a show, guys. I think I'm hitting the fringes of my watch list after all these months finally. But I pulled up a show called Mars. I know that narrows it down. It's a National Geographic show that is now on Netflix, and it's really intriguing because it's playing audio here. It's not just it's a fictional thing, but it's mixed with actual documentary footage because it keeps flashing back to 2016 and about exactly where we're at and what we think is going to happen in the space race and getting to Mars. But then about half of the show is also like it's an actual show dramatization of 2032, 2033, where we did get to Mars, or it's actually us getting to Mars initially and all the issues there. I'm about partway through season 2 of this. I think there's a third one that may have come out by now, but they got 2 on Netflix. And then aside from this, that also got me, because I know the National Geographic stuff is over on Disney Plus, so I've been watching a little bit of that too. Again, kind of a lot of the Mars and the SpaceX stuff. Of course, then you find that a lot of the documentary footage from those also is in this footage, so I was kind of getting a little bit of deja vu when I was going over it. But it was kind of a cool, different way, like kind of a, probably it's still science fiction, but it's probably a more realistic, or strives to be a more realistic science fiction. I think it's partly produced by SpaceX, if you want to take that with a grain of salt. I think all these docs on National Geographic are a little bit. But especially when Elon's kind of in the news this week. But that's a show that's been kind of my, sometimes let's check out the next episode of this. And, of course, I'm just still on my space kick from the last couple of months. But that's Mars. It's on Netflix. It's a National Geographic show. I'm sure it's going to pop up on Disney as soon as those rights get released, or something too. So worth a look. So I don't know if it was really an obscure find. Have any of you guys ever heard of this show? No.
I have not, but I'm intrigued enough. I'm running out of Netflix, so.
Yeah, exactly.
It gives me something to go to next.
Oh yeah, it's like you go through the list of the coming soon. Is like something, anything. Okay. Remind me. Cobra Kai's apparently popular again. So
I did see some people on Facebook like commenting that that they've picked that up. Like it almost caught me off guard to the point where I'm like, was there another season of this? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, it got picked up by Netflix and kind of repopularized, I guess, because everybody has Netflix versus YouTube Prime, right, or Premium or whatever it was. So, but anyways, so yeah, I might rewatch Cobra Kai, to be completely honest, because it was that good. So. I want to give a shout out to our friends supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza. Our buds over at Slice on Broadway, 3 locations here in the Pittsburgh area: Beachview, Carnegie, East End. No longer part of the PNC Park, but hey, they were for a good long time part of baseball when, baseball was a thing. Listen, man, I'm sure they're not running the Primanti Brothers stand in there too. So, but they've been supporting us for a good long time. Most of our 10 years here on the show for the Awesome Cast, filling our awesome tummies with some awesome pizza for us and all of our guests and co-hosts over the years. So give a shout out. Please support our friends in this time at sliceonbroadway.com. All right, we have a submission by Dave Potter. I see you out in the chat room right now. So apparently this is a new feature, and I failed to drop the link in here. But apparently Twitter is making sure the quote tweets are just one click away. Now I have not been in Twitter to see how the new format goes when you're quote tweeting something. So maybe I'll experiment in a bit. I mean, it's been retweet with a retweet and retweet with comment, correct? Like, has that changed otherwise here? Have you guys seen this change yet?
I don't think I have, and I retweeted stuff last week.
So
yeah. I retweet and quote retweet like before.
It throws me.
I had retweet and retweet with comment, I think is how mine's been.
It still throws me when you retweet, like you quote retweet and you can add a picture to it. Like, I'm still not used to that, and it confuses me in context sometimes when I'm reading Twitter to kind of. I'm not used to it yet, right? So, but really useful with that. But yeah, so apparently coming up, you'll see a quote retweet button in between the count of retweets and likes when you zoom into a particular tweet. So we're talking about the stats and everything on this, actually. So when we look at this, and I'll zoom in on this, you see normally we get retweets and likes. At the bottom, you will also get a separate quote retweets as well, which always, you know what, that does help clarify a little bit, because I feel like you kind of get lost in the, okay, there's this many retweets, but I didn't know if quote retweets kind of got counted when you saw those numbers. Katie, do you know if they were included in the retweets before this, or were they just kind of an independent interaction?
I don't know, to be honest. I don't know, because I think they are considered independent, but I'm not sure.
Well, either way, they're going to be a little more clarified there, I guess. So that's looking forward to that, to being a part of that too. I am not currently. It looks like they were looking at the web version here to begin with. So maybe I'll bring that up, but I'm not seeing it on the app side of things at the moment. Yeah. It only pops up when you click on apparently a tweet, and no, they're probably going to do a rollout for this as well. So we'll see when that happens as well. Steve says he only saw season 1 of Cobra Kai. Sir, just roll with it. It gets good. There's some good surprise returns in that too. It's also Cobra Kai. There's a lot of he's still alive happening with a lot of the actors that you haven't seen in forever. Because I mean, not a lot of them are still working these days. So I'm still playing videos in Super Bernie World over here too. Good thing I don't have audio going. Let's see what else we got here. Katie, you have another story you want to bring up?
Let's talk about Waze.
Yeah.
We both got to play with this guy.
Yes.
So, Waze is every so often they'll give us a special character. Recently it was Sesame Street. You could be, I think it was Cookie Monster, Elmo. You had some characters there, but now they brought in Batman. So when you...
Go ahead.
I'm sorry?
Go ahead.
So when you go into your Waze, now this was something I had no idea. It just kind of popped up, and I looked, under my looking for where it was going for my destination. It was like drive with Batman, customized experience, and I was like, let me check this guy out. So you can change your mood, which is what you look like, between Batman and Riddler. You also have the options of the voice of either Batman or Riddler, and then your car can either be the Batmobile or Riddler's Racer. When you're doing this, so I elected to be Batman and drive the Batmobile, and I listened to Batman's voice, and I think you described it the best.
I don't know if I just need a guy yelling at me. So here's the thing, because I said to myself, if this was Kevin Conroy, it'd be better. But to me, I thought was obviously not Kevin Conroy. But according to this article you shared, it is the Batman, without doubt, voice-wise, the Batman anime series. Probably the Batman you've heard over the last 30 years of Batman animated. I don't know if it's the context or the recording, but it doesn't sound like Kevin Conroy Batman to me. But otherwise it's just an angry man yelling, "Turn right here."
Yeah. That's one of the issues, well, I guess it's not an issue because I'm asking a lot from an app, but one of the things with Waze is whenever you do one of these fun kind of things, it doesn't tell you what street you're turning down or what exit to get off of. It just says turn left, turn right. And it's like you said, it was like an old man just yelling at me to make the left. I was like, I'm sorry.
Now to me, it gets more interesting when I usually don't have the straight turn by turn if I'm going to just over to your house or somewhere local, right? But I'll have it on just to see if there's any detours. And now on the way back, I said to Riddler, and I did that because, again, they're just like, oh, it's just regular person doing this. But I was driving up West Liberty, and there's the construction there, and it's like it gives you there's a hazard up ahead, and amazingly, it's not one of mine this time. Yeah. So
It's fun.
I might have to kick over and see what the Batman does on the other side too. So we'll see.
It wasn't too. I don't know. I didn't come across anything too exciting on the ride back from State College to have it say something. But it's available till October 31st. So if you want to try, you get a couple months to do it.
There you go. It's so out of nowhere too, because there's nothing Batman happening, right? Like broadly, right? So.
Well, didn't they just did the trailer, right? For the next.
Yeah, they did the trailer. I don't know if DC Fandom just happened, I guess. But also I find, because I'm starting to notice promotions and shows and tie-in events that are happening that don't have the original event to tie in. Like there's this event called Game On Netflix that's like the Big Show and I think that Garcia, comedian that has a show on there, like all the Netflix sitcoms have a crossover Game On event where it looks like they're all in some kind of mini Olympics kind of thing. Like it should have came out during the Olympics that didn't happen, kind of stuff. So, movie tie-ins, things like that. Like, why are we talking about Mulan in March when it didn't happen, kind of thing. So I'm curious to see the dog's pissed too, if you can hear that in the background. But who knows? It does seem like they kind of dropped these out of nowhere. I miss when they had the Sleepy Hollow one. That was good. That was good. Your carriage has arrived at its destination. Was the highlight of that one for me. But Chilla, you have another story you want to hit up on?
So one of the things that I also found is if you are or read about today actually. If you are a Google Maps user, which I don't know if Waze had this before or they're getting it too, but Google Maps is now showing, at least in select cities for the time being, where the traffic lights are.
Really?
It does not tell you what the current traffic light condition is. Like it doesn't tell you, hey, it's the red light ahead, but or green light, go about to turn yellow, go faster. But it does tell you like which intersections have stoplights, which I have found extremely useful on Apple Maps. So Apple actually added stop signs and traffic lights to theirs, which is super helpful if you're in a place that you're not familiar with. Like, oh, which cross street is this? Is my dot perfectly exactly where I'm at. Is this intersection the one that I want to turn at because the sign's too far away to read? I have found this 110%.
Don't mind me. I was playing with maps.
Use.
I was playing with maps and it started talking. So on like all my Apple devices, so I was like, oh, hey, what's happening? So go ahead.
But yeah, so traveling even around neighborhoods where there's the random stop sign and streets could be close together. If you're not familiar with what the cross streets are, I have found this invaluable when I'm going to places where I've never been before. So I would highly suggest checking this out. The one thing that I need to test, and I didn't see it working, at least on my phone, but Crazy Kraus told me it actually works in CarPlay, is Google still does not rotate the map when you're driving, which has caused me to not be able to necessarily always use it.
On Google Maps?
On Google Maps.
I thought it does. I thought it's become sort of I thought it does on mine, on Apple.
On your phone or in CarPlay?
Oh, in CarPlay it doesn't? Oh, I haven't.
No, on my phone it didn't.
Yeah, on my phone it does, and I haven't used CarPlay for a good long time. Thank you, COVID. But you are right that on CarPlay it did not. I remember it being a problem, and I would go back to Waze and Apple Maps, typically. So, or there was only Apple Maps and Google, and Waze wasn't there yet. So I was like, I went to Apple Maps because I just couldn't stand using the Google Maps situation. So, yeah, it's always been finicky with that, hasn't it?
The other interesting thing that I noticed when I was getting the rental and getting my phone connected and whatnot was Zoom has a CarPlay piece to their app. So I'm interested in seeing what that's
a bad
like.
idea. That's a bad idea.
Well, I wonder if it's just for like a conference call or their calling side of their app. I don't know. I'm interested in playing around with it.
It has to be an audio only, right? It's probably just patches into something like that. Jeez, that seems horrible. What are you doing? Well, I'm on my way back from Erie. So we mentioned Elon Musk earlier, and I don't think as a tech show anybody should pass this one up. Did you see his release from Friday when he was showing off and demonstrating how they're going to patch into our brains apparently to enhance us? So apparently what this is going to be, I don't know if you guys were reading up on this or watched the super cutout shared or anything, but the idea is the boiled down is he said this was a Fitbit for your brain. It reads what's happening. They've been tested on I believe apes and pigs. They had pigs that they were showing off with, where it could see where if it was making contact with anything with a snout, they knew. They showed off a surgery robot that's going to take care of it, and they claim that by the time they get this thing to market, it's going to cost as much as LASIK surgery. But it's attaching a computer to your brain. It's going to sit sort of in that area in between, like basically they would take a circle. They said about the size of a coin out of your skull, and it would lay into that close to where it's connecting in your brain with, what was it, about 1,000 electrodes into your skull to points in your brain to make communication. Of course, there have not been human trials. There's an image of it as well. It wows me out to see like the charger for this thing connected to a standard USB for the thing that's going to be attached to your brain. Don't buy the cheap USBs off Amazon, please. This is wild, and this is likely years off. This is still preliminary for the most part. Did you guys have any impressions from what this is, or just scared of that surgery robot in general?
I'd rather try the COVID test surgery robot before I'm willing to try this one.
Oh, the one that holds your place in head in a vice grip that we showed off last week with Kim Lyons.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd opt into that before I'd opt into this as a first.
You don't want to be the early adopter. You don't want to. You're not staying in line like the App Store for your brain implant there, Chilla.
I would do like a subdermal, like crazy computer screen that allowed me to like switch like body tattoos.
Like the screen in the arm that Chachi always wanted?
Yeah, like I would give that a whirl. Implanting things in my brain just sounds like
you're not ready for that.
The next step towards Skynet.
Oh, that's the idea, isn't it? That's Order 66, whatever. Katie, what about you?
I'm just picturing like you're in line for your Google Glass and like how ridiculous that was, and now you're like, and Sorg's gonna be the first. Your head in a jar is gonna be the first one in line for.
Maybe, yeah. Okay, I'm not that on top of this. I mean, we'll see what happens in 10 years when they've talked me into it. But I'd be like, I'm going to have to wear a hat all the time. Well, they said that they would cover. It kind of covers. I can't imagine. I think you're still going to have a space where your hair isn't growing, right? So, like, if I, like Katie, if you had as stylish a haircut as you're doing right now, I think that's going to be it's going to stick out a little bit, right? So,
well, I think it's depending on if they put a hole in and it sits flush against your skull, they could just close it up on top and stitch it across, and eventually it'll be fine.
I don't think the skin comes back over your skull where
so they just leave a little hole.
Because it's just they remove it and set it into your skull. I don't think the skin grows back over. I could be wrong with this. I didn't get a good look at the pic. Okay, but I
really wanted to have an antenna. So we can know who has
Oh,
them.
geez, yes, yeah. I mean, that'd be the thing. Just like there was the who has a camera on me from Google Glass. It's going to be like we need to mark the people that have these things in their brains. So it also brings me back to Johnny Mnemonic a little bit. If you recall that, he had a thing in his brain that I think was 100 megabytes. And overloaded it. So I don't know. I rewatched that like sometime in the last year, and it's amazing to hear the terms. But yeah. This is far. This is. You know what? Elon got a rocket to launch and sit on a pad. Okay, I mean not Elon, but the people he hired. Elon's money got a rocket to become reusable, which is, as the documentary probably paid for SpaceX told me 100 times, is really, really important for whatever's next. So, I mean, between that and Tesla in existence in general to the factor that it is, I mean, that kind of is like, well, okay, this could be a thing. We'll see what happens with it, right? So, all right, I gotta grab something lighter after something like this. Okay, devastating but interesting. Is that okay for everybody right now? So Flight Simulator, and we didn't read the story last week where apparently an error or algorithm or key error or typo made a like 200 and some foot straight up sculpture in some town somewhere. If you were in Flight Simulator, if you don't know, so it's attached to like this open data so when you're flying over the country, it's like based on Earth, Google Earth type data, but it's another service entirely. And this is giving me trouble opening. So it's based on that data, but not only the map data, apparently it is also attached to the weather data live as it's happening. So people were virtually driving their planes, flying their planes into Hurricane Laura as it was actually happening here in or near the States, or coming into the Gulf Coast last week. This is fantastic. Of course, there's some great Twitter pictures happening throughout here, and I do know there's a paragraph I shared earlier with you guys. I believe it is metroblue.com. It is a Swiss company that maps the world's weather patterns It splits the world in a bunch of boxes. It measures wind speed, temperature, pressure, a lot more. And that data is, they said it was only going to be limited to airports for virtual pilots, but Flight Simulator is replicating real-world weather events with accuracy. So, yeah, you can roll right into a hurricane now. and imagine, you're not going to go find a single tornado and have some fun with that. I think it's probably just a widespread weather event like you would have with a hurricane. All right, so I don't think I can even get into Flight Simulator because I don't even know if I could make the plane take off. It's just going to be a crash simulator if I ever did this. But it's actually available on Game Pass, by the way. If you have like Game Pass Ultimate or want to drop the $5 for the PC version of Game Pass, it's included as part of that, since it's a Microsoft Studio technically program. Katie, Chilla, are you interested in the idea of virtually storm chasing like this?
I'm interested to see. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go.
I said it was better than doing it in real life.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I'm interested to see how many people will become like virtual storm chasers, and to your point, and Dudders' hand motion of a plane going up and crashing. I'm wondering how long it is till we get a bunch of people that are just trying to come up with the most damaging takeoff or crash into the storm. The one thing I will say is that I'd be interested how they model that, because I saw a really cool video of, it was one of the hurricanes that actually showed like the lightning swirling in with the storm from like a top-down view. Like that would be worth flying over virtually. I wouldn't want to do it in a real plane, but virtually to get that kind of view would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. So yeah, man, I don't know what's gonna run on my old laptop that I have set up for gaming, but I kind of want to just try. I mean, it is like 100 gigabyte download. How many DVDs was that again when we saw that story a few weeks ago? Let's see. Chilla, what is happening? What is this? This is a Fortnite story. Let's get our weekly Fortnite update. We do know that Fortnite has they have limited you if you are on iOS or Mac from Season 4. That bothers me because the Mac version comes through Epic's own store. What are you doing, Epic?
Yeah, they weren't getting Apple wasn't taking a cut off of them anyway on that one.
No, they weren't. They were completely independent. It just seems like a extra slap to Apple or Apple fans to do that. But that's okay. There's stuff like NVIDIA GeForce Now that you can play it on anyway. So, but maybe that's the reason.
Oh, can you pull it down with that on the Mac?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's included with the GeForce Now. Anything in GeForce Now you can play on a Mac. So it doesn't matter. Like Rocket League stopped working on the Mac. Like you can play it, but it doesn't connect to anything anymore, even if you bought it on Steam. But you log into GeForce Now and it's just like being on a PC and you'll have everything otherwise. No, that's a big pusher. And that's a big pusher. I've seen that banner a bit when they do new seasons on GeForce Now. Like they're putting that over too. So
yeah, and they went one step further. I don't know if it was yesterday or it was within like the last 24 to 48 hours. I got lucky. I got right in the wire. For a while there, if you had purchased Fortnite while you couldn't download it as a new user, if you had already purchased it because it was a free download, you could re-download it on a device. Now that they've actually banned the actual account, you can't, from what I was reading, you can't even do that today.
Wait, so they banned all the games, all the Epic release games are now not on the App Store. Can I still
like Infinity Blade?
Yeah, can I still go download the Infinity Blade that I bought?
No, because their account, you could have.
I could have, now I can't.
Up until like yesterday.
That is bullshit. This happened several years for me. I bought a game, THQ, before they went out of business, had a WWE WrestleFest, which was like a remake with the new characters, and I bought all the DLC for it on my iPad. and I can't download it again. Like
because the company no longer exists, so their account no longer exists.
That bothers me.
So there's no more app signer.
That's where I start having a problem. And Apple is the only place I've been seeing this. Microsoft will have something. I can't buy something like Transformers or Spider-Man from Activision because they don't have a license anymore, or the old Ninja Turtles arcade game that they put out with Ubisoft on Xbox 360. But if I bought it, I can download it regardless, or get a code or something like that. Like, they seem to be a little more forgiving with something like this. This is, and now it's something like this. Like, that was kind of an obscure WWE game that got canned when I got that. But you're talking about everybody with Fortnite and Infinity Blade, like it's something that Apple put over to the moon. That's going to be more noticeable for those kinds of practices.
I mean, like I said before, they had to have thought this through and had, metrics and analysis on what the impact would be. I'm interested to see how many people, and if Fortnite gets new users on existing users on new platforms, they're going to dangle that carrot out there for everyone to bite on. But I'm interested. I mean, they couldn't have timed this better with the Marvel stuff, and now with the unfortunate events with Chadwick Boseman passing away, they've now added a Black Panther area into the game. They said it was already planned, and they're releasing sections of the map in phases from what I was reading. I haven't played the new season yet, but there is a statue that they had already planned on the island for Black Panther. So, and the monument is called Panther's Prowl. But I'll be interested to see if all of the news and media
on that. And hey, if you're still having problems, and I don't know what the status is on Android, but if you're worried about that, because they've also supposedly not been, they're supposedly not on the App Store or anything there. GeForce Now works on the Android. So yeah, I've been playing a bit of that on there. I spent the holiday playing Darksiders on the S8 that you gave me, and
I did see something where Fortnite was still in the Samsung store.
Yeah.
Like the Galaxy
That's
store. They may not be in the Google Play store, but they're in some of the other stores.
I gotta tell you, this is it's starting to become hard to be an Apple fanboy right now, or girl, Katie. Sorry. So with this kind of news, or the way that Apple's, just all these tiffs over the App Store lately. And I'm a fan of the hardware. I think I will be for the foreseeable future. But obviously this is a game, and that's bothersome for me. But until we get to the point where there's a tool that's helpful to me that I want for my business that is under fire for something like this, then I would have to start considering other platforms. And that's not hard. There are plenty. I mean, Android, I'm finding, working with some of the wrestlers that are doing their own video production on their phones from the stuff I'm giving them. There's fantastic stuff. And, PCs are great too, for the most part. If you watch what you get, it's just, I just think, man, this kind of keeps them open for it, and if it becomes hard to pick up one of these guys, then I feel like Apple is a little more, especially now, maybe with the lack of Apple stores, vulnerable to something like this. Is that, Katie? Do you have any vibes like that?
No.
No.
I mean, like, I don't know enough to even try to.
So, what about you, Chilla?
I'll be interested. So here's where I think it's all going to come down. I think that the truth is going to come out in the weeks leading up to Black Friday is going to be a true telltale sign of who's where across the industry. And here's why I say that. There is nothing from what I've been reading and experiencing, there is nothing but entry-level shortages of Chromebooks and shortages of iPads right now. And I'm sure it's schools going back, everyone's going virtual, that type of thing. What I don't hear as much about the PC market shortages, and maybe it's because I'm too close to it as having, an elementary student. But the one thing that I've also been reading about is, unlike most years past, everyone was like going into the school year is the time to buy a PC because it's back to school.
Yeah.
Everyone's saying, wait till November, because everybody who didn't sell their equipment is going to be like fire sailing it, because back to school will have taken place. Anyone who was getting a device year end, like everything I'm reading is that's going to be the new time to buy. But it'll be very interesting. Amanda, I see took 4 weeks to get her iPad Pro. Most computers were back ordered. My iPad Pro is still back ordered.
It took me almost 2 weeks to get a Mac Mini off of the website for a client beginning of July, I guess.
Yeah, so I'm interested like I said, I'm not seeing as much stuff in the PC market. And interestingly enough, like I think it was Lenovo announced today that they were even getting back into the high-end Chromebook market. So I'm interested that I don't know. I don't think Apple's going to be hurting. I think I think Microsoft's going to make up, like on the Windows license, with Teams and other the sale of other subscriptions and items. But like I said, I would look to mid to late November to see what the Black Friday deals are and the deals leading up to Black Friday and into the Christmas season. I know Microsoft usually does like their 12 days of Christmas or whatever it is. I think that's when we're going to really see where the market is.
I am very curious if by Christmas you will start seeing, whether you're at the Verizon store or the phone kiosk at your Walmart, it's going to be Apple does this, this, and this. Android, this is the one where you can play Fortnite, Xbox Cloud, GeForce Now, like that.
But you can't. So you could do GeForce Now, but you can't get like if a Pixel phone, you're not going to get Fortnite natively.
If you got GeForce,
you will on Samsung.
No.
I don't know if you would on LG.
If you got GeForce Now, you have all of it.
If we take the, I'm trying to appeal to the parent that's trying to help their kid. I don't know how many parents are going to understand all of that. Maybe the kids will be able to figure it out.
The kids will push for it, the young adults that are into gaming, or it'll be I can get you a phone and not grab you the next $500 console and kill two birds with one stone. Right?
Or will the next big, see, part of me wonders, is this going to spawn the next big thing? PUBG coming to iOS.
iOS is pushing PUBG on iOS hard with the absence of Fortnite.
Yeah, and then you get...
I see what you're doing there.
Apex Legends is coming to Switch. Like,
don't they have a mobile version coming too?
They claimed they were going to have a mobile version. I think Switch was first, and that's not launched yet. But I'm wondering if this, to me, this is going to be make or break for Fortnite. Like, this will prove the staying power of Fortnite.
It will. It's a high bet Epic is running with this. So we need something a little more positive going out the door here. Katie, can you tell me what Uber's up to here?
Yeah, well, Uber, I don't know if this is positive.
Is it positive?
It's positive in the
I don't know.
The safety aspect of things. I think that's positive. I like that. So Uber, I didn't realize they were doing this with the drivers, but they're making sure that the driver and now the passengers are all wearing masks using selfie technology. And they're saying they're recognizing the mask as an object. So they're not actually scanning your face. They're just recognizing the mask as an object. And so if you were to, if you were an Uber driver and you said that your passenger showed up with a mask, they would be able to tell that, they're going to go, oh yeah, you weren't wearing a mask at the time you were in this car. I understand why they kicked you out of the car, or I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Man, could I have gotten that when 5 people tried to get in my escape? 6, 7 people tried to get in my escape and say what we can fit, and I was like, no, this isn't happening. That was the biggest thing I would get swear words and slurs thrown at me was kicking out one person too many out of a car. So yeah. But that's good, because I've actually considered, because I may need to take an Uber here for a car drop off, or I may be asking for a ride from somebody. Yeah, because usually it's like, oh, I'll come down here and just take an Uber back up the hill, right, to drop off my car, because it's not that far, but it's enough. I don't want to take my day and go for that walk if I want to get to work. And just like this bothers me, the whole idea of it. But this feels better. And it would hopefully help me feel a little better if I was Uber driver right now too. So if I had to go back to that. So thank you for sharing, Katie. Katie Dudders is on all the social medias. You can catch up with what's going on with her. I know you've been dropping some updates last week, I think, at least. So that's on the Instagram.
Kate Marie PGH.
There you go. And also whatever relevant Animal Crossing updates as well.
Yes.
So, and of course, John Chilla is at Chilla on the Twitter.
I think I'm also Chilla on the Twerk. And
what? On the Twerk?
I think I'm on the Plurk.
Oh, Plurk.
And Chilla on the Bright Kite.
Wait, what was the Twerk? Is it TikTok and Plurk?
No, the Plurk. Plurk. Plurk.
Yeah. Oh, no, I swear you said twerk. Hey, did you hear twerk at the beginning there?
I don't know how to twerk.
Yeah. You don't know how to twerk. Welcome to the Twerk platform starring Chilla.
That's the new. Yeah, that's maybe I should start my own social media network there.
Yeah. Oh. Welcome to Twerkcast.
And show title. Of course, I'm at Sorgatron on Twitter if you want to find out what's going on with me and and everything going on. We're getting updates from how Uber's doing in this town. Apparently, it's a pretty easy. 45-minute to an hour rate with nobody downtown. It's because nobody's driving, because right now. But thanks, Steve. Anyways, go check out everything. Please follow everybody. And of course, if you dig this show, please rate and subscribe on the podcast wherever you are, but especially on that iTunes store. I'm sorry, podcast, Apple Podcasts. They changed the brands at some point. I don't know. And wherever you may be finding us to help get us in front of more people, we do appreciate. Thank you. You have been our awesome audience. Please have an awesome week. This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com.